So we have 2 more days in the week and 2 more reflections out of Joel. Minor prophet, short book, big message, much about repenting, locust sin, all that stuff. Today I want to talk about fasting, which is a spiritual discipline. It's about giving something up, going without something in an effort to grow closer to God. It is giving something up in order to spend more time with God, spend more time in prayer. It's controlling areas of our life that we can control, praying that God will help us see victories in areas of our life that we can't necessarily control, namely our heart. So Joel 1:13, I referenced this yesterday. Put on sackcloth, O priests, and mourn, wail, you who minister before the altar. Come, spend the night in sackcloth, you who minister before my God. For the grain offerings and drink offerings are withheld from the house of your God. Declare a holy fast. Call a sacred assembly. So throughout the Bible, we see calls to fast. Generally, fast from food. Now, there are other kinds of fasts. Increasingly, fasting from technology has become something that can be helpful and something people are doing. It could be fasting from certain kinds of food. The Daniel plan that Rick Warren made famous was all about sort of looking at what Daniel and his friends were eating and sort of complying with that. I want to be clear about a few things. I want to be really practical today and challenge you to fast. If not today, tomorrow, maybe just lunch. But fasting is not a way of winning points with God. Again, this is not a religious exercise. It's about controlling areas of our life that we can control in an effort of humility and to build sort of a cadence of ongoing awareness of our dependence with God that's going to foster more prayer. We see references to fasting throughout the Old Testament here in the book of Joel. We see references to fasting in the New Testament. Sermon on the Mount, Jesus talks about 3 disciplines, giving, praying, and then he also talks about fasting. Moses fasted for 40 days. Esther fasted on behalf of her people. Hannah fasted. We can go down the list. Judah, Ezra fasted. The people of Nineveh, Nehemiah fasted. David fasted. Daniel fasted. Paul, Jesus, Peter, all fasted. And I've talked about fasting in the past and called on you to fast and to take this sort of next step for some of you in cultivating a more greater intimacy with God. It's not trying to gain his approval. It's not dieting, by the way. It's not simply going without food or, water or whatever. Fasting is not about showing others how spiritual you are. A true fast is about removing something from our life and creating a space for God to move and an awareness of our dependence upon him. So, I'm not a doctor, and I don't even play one on TV. I have no medical advice to offer here other than perhaps if your health is not strong, you want to consult a physician before you fast or just fast briefly. You want to keep this quiet. You don't want to talk about it a lot. One of the first times I was fasting, 30, 40 years ago, whatever, I mentioned it to a friend, and he said, "Poof!" And I'm like, "What?" He goes, "There goes your spiritual reward. It just went away." Now, in hindsight, I shouldn't have been doing it for a spiritual reward, so he shouldn't have come after me for that. But yeah, what we're told in the Gospels is that we're to dress up. We're not to act like we're, morose, and we're not to advertise what we're doing. I want you to know that if you fast, you should expect to be a little tired. You might expect to have a headache. I drink lots of water when I'm fasting. And the key is that during that time that I'm not eating, I might go take a walk and pray, or I'm not going to simply just keep working, right? And then as hunger pangs come throughout the afternoon, right, to just, when that hits, to just go, that's right, I'm not eating. Father, I'm trying. I want to be dependent upon you. Thank you for all the ways that you have provided for me so abundantly. And I would pray that you would work in my life, you would work in my heart, that you would make me more like Christ. That's just a little prompt, a little alarm going off in the back of your mind. So Joel is a prophet calling on us to more intentionally seek God. And one of the things that he brings up, one of the things that you can do is to fast. So there's a challenge. Skip lunch today and fast. Or decide you're going to do it tomorrow. Maybe you can't do it today. But your Father who sees what is done in secret will reward you. There is a reward for what is done in secret. Fasting is a physical discipline and a spiritual feast. I set down the challenge. Have a good day.